Hi there, and welcome to Magic the Krakening. Today we are going to open a set box of Battle for Baldur's Gate. Now, this might be a little bit different than my other videos, and by might, I mean it will be. I'm less worried about the price of what I open, like whether it's a good financial hit. Uh, and what I'm going to do instead is probably going to be a longer video, and I apologize for that. I just returned from Commandfest in Richmond, where I got to do multiple pre releases for Commander Legends Baldur's Gate. And I'm actually happy to share my thoughts and feelings about the cards that are in the set. I think that this set is very strong, but it also has its flaws. So I'd love to go through that with you. I hope you stay with me while I give my thoughts. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So first is the box topper, or buy a box promo, excuse me, which is the Elder Brain. I did not actually get to play with this card, so I really can't say anything about it. But it's a good card. I would play it, for sure. In the Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate draft process, it is a minimum of 60 cards. You draft 2 cards per pack, and it is not traditional singleton rules. In fact, you can have as many of any one card as you want. Your commander does determine color identity still, but you could have a commander that says choose a background, and then a background, and that would determine your color identity. There are also multiple multicolored legends. So it made for really interesting gameplay. Each pre-release pack also has a pre-release promotional card randomly inserted, and you were open to draft that as well, or use that in your draft. So it's really interesting. I had never done a draft before, and I was really excited to try something that was a Commander draft. I did not draft for Commander Legends, the first one. So this was an exciting experience for me. All right, so we'll just sort of hop right in. I've never opened a set pack of this set, so I apologize in advance. I'm just sort of going to go through it and first couple of packs get used to it. I don't know if this set mirrors Innistrad, in that if the last card is a magic back, whether it'll be a like a placement card or not, or if all of them that have the magic back are going to be a list card. Anyway, let's hop on in. Art card, land. All right, so here's Imoen. First thing I will say is Initiative and the Undercity are very strong in Commander for Battle for Baldur's Gate. Lord, there's so many words. And Imoen was surprisingly strong. So as long as you have the initiative, you draw a card. If you've completed a dungeon, you draw another card. So plus having Ward 2 makes her hard to remove. I ran her in Bane. So I pulled the Esper Legend Bane. And maybe if we get that, I'll show you. But she just really solid card. Definitely put me miles above my opponents in terms of value. So if you happen to draft her, maybe consider running her. But definitely include cards that have the initiative. So we've got a Moss Diamond. Just good mana fixing. You can probably pass on them if you've got the gates. But they're not bad. Universal Solvent. I didn't really use this. It's 1 mana. Great. It's 7 mana to activate. Not great. I assume this is intended for Dynaheir, which doubles effects from this. My apologies. I've got a bird feeder on my balcony, and the birds are just, I won't say going at it because they're not doing that, but they are actively enjoying this food. So yeah, the Universal Solvent, I'm sure it's fine. This is a good card that I would like to see what people's thoughts are. Decanter of Endless Water. Will this replace Thought Vessel? I call this Thoughtless Vessel, but it's not. It's 3 mana, no maximum hand size, add 1 mana of any color. So Thought Vessel is only 2, but you get generic mana. Which would you rather run? I like this, and I think I like it more. You can, of course, run both, but this is really solid. Very good card. Grey Harbor Merfolk. If you want to steal the initiative from someone, this is a great card to run. Beckoning Will-O-Wisp. This card is so good. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose an opponent. Creatures attacking the last chosen player get +1/+0. So not only does your whole army swing for more, everyone swings for more against that player. So, I mean, you can just see how this can spiral. Excellent card. I'm got to play that a few times. It's so good. Lulu! Lulu is strong, but she's not strong in the way that you'd think. So at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control, then untap them. This says blink, right? Wrong. Myriad. You get a permanent, they exile at the end of combat, boom. All of your attackers at the end of your turn, +1/+1 counter, and you untap them. It's fantastic. Minthara, this is the experience counter one. I didn't really get to play with her. I can't really comment on it. Contraband Livestock. I gave someone a 4/4 Ox. That wasn't fun. Merkle! Oh, that's exciting. I wanted this. I didn't get to play with this card, but I love this card. So it turns... Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you exile it and create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's an enchantment. So... yeah, that's so much fun. Enchantress and Abzan, but you don't actually need to cast the enchantments. You run your typical Abzan Aristocrats shell. It's fantastic. I'm definitely excited. Let's do this. So I'll put my background commanders here. Move this down. This will be my non-rare commanders. Rare commanders and special arts. Guess I'll leave those there. All right, Master Chef. Didn't get to play with this one, but it is a background. So if you need green and you have this available, just go ahead and grab it. Agent of the Iron Throne. This is the etched foil. I didn't play this one either. Commander creatures you own have, whenever an artifact or creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. It's really good. It's, what is it? Marionette Master, but sort of different. Background, though. So I was just talking about Lulu. I'm actually interested in... I ran a Lulu Azorius deck. And while during pre-release it did not play well, against my friends later it did. And I was like, Myriad. Myriad works so well in this deck, and this is so good. Flying in Myriad, I didn't play this card, but I can only imagine. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. If that player has more cards in hand than each other player, then you create a treasure token if that player controls more lands than each other player. Then you gain 3 life if that player has more life than each other player. So this is going to trigger for each opponent that it deals combat damage to. So you have so much potential of getting a ton of stuff, and it's a 4/4 body for 4 with flying. Incredible. Timora's Invoker. Did not play this card. And I got a Sapperlink. Oh, look at it. It looks like a little Groot. That's cute. Hopefully these packs will get faster. So now we'll find out as I go through. So thank you again. Sorry, this just is going to be a naturally longer video. Marble Diamond. Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind. So these are actually a lot of fun. If you're going to go Dragon Tribal, grab these. Even if you don't end up going Teamer, there's 3 of them, there's green, red, and blue, grab them. And whatever color pairing you can do, this will be impactful. It's just a solid mana rock cycle. Fang Dragon. Forktail Sweep is really good. Deals 1 damage to each creature you don't control. There's a lot of tokens. There's a lot of tokens. There's a lot of 1/1s. Great, great, great card. Later you get a 6/3 flying body. Not really important. 2 mana to deal 1 damage to each creature you don't control. And that's key. Draconic Lore, didn't play with this card. Young Blue Dragon. So this is similar to the Fang Dragon. You get a 2 mana sorcery in the adventure portion. Scry 1, then draw a card. Really simple, really good. Run away together. Play this card. If you can, grab it. If you're running blue, grab it. There's so many creatures. So many creatures. You're going to run into so many 4/1 skeletons with menace. And those are rough. You're going to run into so many creatures that get counters, or it's just, seriously, run this card. Thrakkus the Butcher. Did not play with this guy. Draconic Muralist. I did play with this. I did draft this, but I didn't get to do anything with it. But people were definitely worried. You'll get a lot of damage through with this because people do not want you to tutor for a dragon. Lozan, Dragon's Legacy. The Adventure Dragon. I didn't play with this. Thrakkus again. All right. Raised by Giants. Yes. So we're going to move you down here. No, we'll move you up. I didn't play with this, but power and toughness 10/10 commander creatures you have are 10/10 and are giants in addition to their other types for 6. This is fun. I didn't play it, but it's fun. Sivirus Nightmare Speaker, did not play with her. Him, her, I don't know. So I'll just put that up there. Oh, look at that. That's really cool looking. They were prize. You could win as a prize a big old card version, like a poster version of this. And if you're familiar with Mana Curves, the YouTube creator, she bought one, and it was really, she was so excited. But this is really cool, and it can be my commander, so I'll just put it here. Trailblazer's Torch. I didn't play with this, but it does a great job. Put it on your 4/1 skeleton with menace. Whenever a equipped creature becomes blocked, it deals 2 damage to each creature blocking it. Boom. When it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Good. And then, yeah, so here we are with the list card. Bleak Coven Vampires. I'll just put my list down here. You don't need to know about that because you will not draft list cards. We've got a signed Elminster art card. That's cool. Lulu! Sky Diamond. Pilgrim's Eye, didn't play with that. Kenku Artificer, I skipped that. Scouting Hawk, when it enters, you go fetch a plains if someone has more. It's typical catch-up white stuff. Ettercap, I didn't play with that. Sarevok, I did not play with that. Vrock, I did not play with that. Agent of Shadow Thieves, unfortunately, I did not play. This pack is not giving me much to talk about. Shadowheart, cool. Did not play with Shadowheart either. Wow. I didn't play a lot of black. The only time I played black was when I played Bane. So that's a background I didn't use. Dinah here. I did not play with Dinah here, but this is what I was talking about earlier. When you next activate an ability this turn by spending 4 or more mana to activate it, copy that ability. So like that Universal Solvent, you would double it. You destroyed 2 things for 7 mana. They errata Dinah here. So now if it's an mana ability that you're activating with this ability, it won't copy. So it's being errated to that. Just be aware. Wizards of Thay. I used this. This card is wonderful. And if you have sorceries that you can play around with that you can cast during combat, which is when it's ideal to cast them, which is why you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash, is on this card, then great. If you can't, it's still great. And this is what I was really using with Lulu to really make a big difference. Excellent card. Big fan of this card. It's so much fun. Then we've got Livon. So my last game, I won with this commander. I only won one of my 4 pre-releases, but that's fine. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is that spell's mana value. I built this to be Voltron damage, and it worked incredibly well. The biggest thing that I can recommend if you're going to draft Livon, draft the Cloak of the Bat to give it flying and haste. That's my biggest recommendation. All right, we're making our way through. Looks like another list card. We'll find out. Rasad in Bashir. So toughness matters. If you do have the option of pulling this card out when you ult the Undercity, he will enter with 3 +1/+1 counters and hexproof, which means that he's effectively a 6/6. So definitely worth it to put into a deck that's running the initiative. I don't know about running him as your commander, but I definitely found success in that card. Fire Diamond, Young Red Dragon, Bathing Gold. I'm sure that's fine. Create a treasure token, and then you have a 3/2 flyer. I didn't play with it. Breath Weapon, 2 damage to each non-dragon. Dragons are very prevalent. This probably won't work in your favor. I didn't play it. Did not play with this. There's Levon again. Acolyte of Bahamut. Did not play with it. First dragon spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. There's a commander in blue for dragons, and it looks like we're doing a dragon pack. That you can cast dragon spells at flash speed. They pair incredibly well. I got wrecked by that. So that'll go here. Skanos Dragonheart. Did not play with Skanos. Dragon Cultist. If you dealt 5 or more damage, create a 4/4 red dragon. Nope, did not play with that. Duke Ulder Ravenguard. Did not play with him, but it's Myriad. That's cool. Flaming Fist. I drafted it because I had to, but it was never part of my commander package. Double Strike is great. That's all I can say. Master Chef. We talked about that. Ball. Lord of Murder. Did not play with this. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and goad it. Interesting. So goad is fun, and I really like it, and it speeds the game along, and it forces people to do things in a way that they normally wouldn't, but it's fun. It's always fun. That said, putting +1/+1 counters and goading may lead to you losing. Because 1v1, goad doesn't matter. Nefarious Imp. If one or more permanents you control leave the battlefield, scry 1. Sacrifice deck, perfect. Fiendslayer Paladin. Alright, that's cool. Come here, you. Mountain Renari. So this is you may cast dragon spells and artifact spells, notably, as though they had flash. Pretty good. Just very strong for an uncommon. Absolutely. Didn't play with this card. Basilisk Gate. So there are a ton of gates. Some of them will matter if you're playing gates as a theme. That only matters if you're playing Nine-Fingered Keen. At which point, yeah, it's a good thing that you can draft multiple of a single card, because otherwise it might be hard to hit Keen's abilities right. But I didn't really use this. Great Sword of Tyr, good card, just solid card. Stunning Strike. Didn't use it. Blur, excellent card. It's cantrip, you get to blink a creature. Really good with take the initiative creatures. So if it says when you enter the battlefield, take the initiative, excellent instant speed. Hey, look, I'm ulting the Undercity. Great card. Excellent card. Draft this card if you're running blue. Agent of the Iron Throne. Didn't use it. Safana. I did not use her. Underseller Sweep. I did use that. Whenever you attack, if you or the player you're attacking has the initiative, you create 2/1/1 soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. And when it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. That's going to work well for you always. You have blockers, or you have, if you're attacking the player with the initiative, that's 2 extra bodies. You'll probably take it. Run this card. Halsin, did not play with that. Feywild Visitor, you're a legendary creature. Sorry about that. Create dragon tokens, did not play with that. Ball, hi again. Intellect Devourer, Did not play with it. That's cool. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled with it. Oh. Yeah, that's pretty good. When it ETBs. And that would work really good with that Blur card as well. Aarakocra Sneak. Didn't use it. Here, there's a Fairy Dragon. Taunting Kobold. Whenever it attacks, you goad a creature an opponent controls. 0/1. You will never deal damage with this unless you pump it up somehow. That's fun though. For a 1/1 haste or 0/1 hasty body that can goad something, that's awesome. Marching Duodrone. So you may look at this and be like, I don't want to give my opponents treasures. You can talk your way into gaining the initiative with this card. Do not scoff at this card. Scaled Nurturer. You gain 2 life if you cast a dragon creature spell. It's a mana dork. Really good card. If you're running dragons, this card is excellent. Life gain will make a huge difference. Nimbleclaw Adept. Untap 2 other target permanents. Activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn. Didn't use it, but it looked good. Ambitious Dragonborn. Didn't use it. Bag of Holding. Good card. Didn't use it. Stone Speaker Crystal. Didn't use it. Mind Stone. This is good inclusion. Card draw is very rare in this set. So any card draw that you can get, grab it. Dyna here. Again. Tavern Brawler. You exile the top card of your library. The creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is that card's mana value. This is good to run if you have a commander with some form of evasion. So like Lulu with flying, that sort of thing. You can end up doing a ton of damage, especially if you're running adventure cards. So keep that in mind. An adventure card like the dragon that I saw. Well, anyways, they tend to have high mana values. This works really well with them. Gut. Whenever you attack, you may sacrifice another creature or an artifact, such as treasures. If you do, create a 4/1 black skeleton creature token with menace that's tapped and attacking. This is so good. I didn't think it would do much. This card puts so many skeletons into play, and they are really difficult to deal with. Asterian's Thirst. Yay! Exile target creature, put X+1/+1 counters on a commander you control. Really great removal, and you could potentially win with a Voltron win. I didn't play with it, though. Altar of Baal. I did not play with this either, but this is a cool adventure card. Bag of Holding, foil. Cool. Pegasus. All right, let's keep going. Thank you for sticking around with me. I'm hoping that my draft stories are interesting. If you're sticking around, you know, you're awesome. Marching Duodrone, we talked about that. Coronation of Chaos. For 3 mana, up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn. Goad them. This will win you the game. I didn't get to play with it, but just being able to choose 3 creatures that can't block and you goad them, so you get 2 free attacks, basically, it's huge. Candlekeep Sage. Whenever this creature enters, or when this creature enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card. That's on your commander. So, yeah, it's fine. Cliffgate. Gates. Evolving Wilds. Draft this. Everybody was skipping these in my pods. Take your mana fixing. Heapgate. Treasure tokens. It's fine. Meteor Golem. Removal. It's fine. Fireball. We all know it. Thunderwave. Interesting. Okay. I'm sure that's fine. 4 mana for that's a bit much. I didn't play with it. Jaheira. She's a big deal. People are talking about tokens you control have tap, add green mana. Really good. I didn't play with her. She's fantastic, though. She looks like she's fantastic. Street Urchin. Didn't play with this. Can't really give my opinion on it. Mazzy. I wanted to draft Mazzy. I almost drafted Mazzy. Auras Matter. Just really cool. I really wanted to play it, but the opportunity did not present itself. Gale Waterdeep Prodigy. Also did not play with this card. It seems like a fun... So you get to cast a sorcery, and you can cast the other one. So, like, it's instant and sorcery. So whenever you cast an instant, or sorcery from your hand, you may cast up to one target card of the other type. So if you cast an instant from your hand, you can cast a sorcery from your graveyard, and vice versa. And you exile whatever was from your graveyard. You still have to pay for it, which sucks, but there are other cards that help with that. But this seems like a cool creature to build around. Mindstone. Leather armor. Oh, AFR in the list. It kind of sucks. Looks like we've got a signed Tasha. Allura, Merry Thief. Whenever you attack, up to one target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn, and then after it deals combat damage, you return to its owner's hand. It's fine. Didn't play with it. Cloak of the Bat, though. Equipped creature has flying and haste. I would expect to see this. If you can grab it from draft, grab it from draft. Outside of draft, I can see this popping up in normal commander decks. The equip cost is 2, the cast cost is 2, so that might be a little restrictive for some people. But flying and haste is huge. Stirring Bard, didn't get to use it. I drafted it, didn't get to use it. Insufferable Balladeer, ETB, go to creature, it can't block. Great. Excellent card. For 2 mana, absolutely. I will absolutely goad your commander. Patron of the Arts, didn't get to play with it. Kona Cold, didn't use it. Juvenile Mist Dragon, didn't use it. Sword Coast Sailor, it's a background, didn't get to use it. Sailor's Bane, did not use it. Asterion. I have a friend who built this in pre-release, and it was brutal. It's really good. This is a very solid card. It may look really unimpressive at first, but you're going to close out games, or you're going to outlast your opponents. It's pretty simple. Candlekeep Sage. We looked at that already. Flaming Fist. Ooh. Bountiful Promenade. I didn't get any of these lands during draft, so it's really fun to have one now. That's all. Forest. Foil. Cool. Boar. Oh, that's a 2/2 boar, not the 4/4 ox that you can sometimes give your opponents when you're removing a creature. Swamp. Nemesis Phoenix. Didn't get to play with it. I imagine it would be good in Cyrix. Lulu. Master Chef. Underseller Myconid. You get a mana dork that also has a plant or a sapperling show up with it, and then when it dies, you get a sapperling. So, like, for 3 mana, 3 creatures, and a mana dork, sure. Myconid Spore Tender. Didn't play with that. Cloud Kill. Did not play with that. Wild Magic Surge. Did not play with this. Oh, it's another Chaos Warp. Probably worth grabbing. Probably worth grabbing. For draft, absolutely. Blood Boil Sorcerer. Did not play with it. Corlessa. Really, really good value. I didn't get to play with her because I ended up in my first draft when I grabbed her, going with Gruul instead of Simic. But very solid. Scion of Hallister, didn't use it. Jan Jansen! Sounds like a couch salesman. Jan Jansen, here to sell you a comforter. Or love seat. Yeah. Jahira's Respite. Did not see this. Search your library for up to X basic land cards where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Put those cards onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Prevent all combat damage. Huh. Neat. That's a pretty good combat trick. Caves of Chaos Adventure. Trample. When it enters the battlefield, take the initiative. When it attacks, exile the top card of your library. If you completed a dungeon, you may play that card with it paying its mana cost. Otherwise, you may play that card this turn. Again, the initiative. Huge. If you complete a dungeon, getting a free spell off of this when it attacks, well, hell yeah. Why not? Thrakus in foil. Stigma Lasher. Okay, that's my list card, but it's fun. So here's the Undercity. I've been talking about it. But I'm just going to go through the steps. So secret entrance, you tutor up a land. Sorry, you can't really see it. Maybe it'll focus now. There we go. Tutor up a basic land card, put it into your hand. You can put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature or scry 2. This dungeon is very like, you don't get stuck in a path. You can always move around unless you go to the sides and then you're stuck. But arena is really good to do. So trap, target player loses 5 life. That's huge. Arena, goad, target creature, stash, create a treasure token. You can get a skeleton, you can draw a card. And then here, I'm going to read this out because people have been confused by this during draft. So if you go to draft Commander Legends, you're going to want to understand how this works. Reveal the top 10 cards of your library, put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield with 3+1/+1 counters on it. It gains hexproof until your next turn, then shuffle. So you only pick one card, and then the rest of the 9 gets shuffled with your library. You don't draw cards. The creature has hexproof until your next turn. So just keep all of that in mind. Nari. Didn't play with that. Didn't play with that. Didn't play with that. Goliath Paladin, another ETB. Take the initiative because it's in white. Blue and white have a blink theme. So if you build Azorius, this is a great card to draft. Winter Eladrin. Bounce a creature. I didn't play with it, but it was very annoying. OG. Don't make this your commander. If you're going Azorius, don't make this your commander. Good support, not great in the command zone. Abdul Adrian, didn't play with you. Halson, didn't play with you. Hey, another Merkle. That's fun. Popular Entertainer. This is a cool card. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, go target creature that player controls. So as long as your commander is out and you have this out, that occurs. Didn't play with it. I didn't draft it. But it looks fun. Goad is just great. It's just great. Imoen. Shadowheart. Got another Shadowheart. Slaughter the Strong. Just good draft board wipes if you can. And then there's that. This video is already 32 minutes. Sorry about that. I will try to speed through the rest of it. Thank you again for hanging out with me. Did not do that. There's OG. Put that over here. Lightning Bolt. If you're running red, draft Lightning Bolt. Just do it. Guiding Bolt, same thing. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater and scry. Great. Every color, I believe, has a scry 2 card and a draw card for 3. Pilgrim's Eye, didn't play with it. Didn't play with it. Talked about that one. Really good combat trick. So choose a blocker before damage, flash this in, bounce whatever it is that's about to die. Great. Inspired Tinkering, didn't play with that. Sorcery. Oh, that'd be fun though. Minthara, didn't play with that. Same with Master Chef. Commander Liara Portier. I did play with this. It won me my game. However, I only played a Lightning Bolt off the top, but still, playing a Lightning Bolt off the top for extra damage, great. Great card. Under Mountain Adventurer. Enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Add to... Wow, okay. Solid Mana Dork. Good job. Minimus Containment. Always fun. Enchantment-based removal is good. Turning it into a treasure is good. Depending on the creature, your opponents may not even bother sacrificing the treasure. Just really solid removal. Sky Diamond, Decanter of Endless Water. Genasi Enforcers, Myriad creature. You can pump them up. I did not realize... So, I did not get to play with the original Myriad. Myriad does not copy whatever buffs it receives. So, if you're copying it with Myriad... If you're attacking, you want to buff it after. Just a note. Trailblazer's Torch, Reckless Barbarian. Sacrifice it for 2 red mana. Great. Good card. Stone Skin, didn't play with it. Wow. Enchanted creature gets +0/+10. That works with that Toughness Matters guy. Yeah, that guy. Slaughter the Strong. Far Traveler. Beginning of your end step, exile Up to one target tap creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So this is good if you want to continue to have a blocker after attacking. Probably a good idea. Duke Ulder, cool. Dungeon Delver. Room abilities of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. Very solid. Again, the initiative, a lot of people didn't expect it to be as impactful or important as it was. It makes a difference. Run this. If you can. Miriam, Sentinel Worm, the Dragon. Oh, that's cool. I didn't play with it, but I did draft in case I drew it for the first one. Super good card. Barroom Brawl. Target creature you fight. I didn't play with this. I'm excited to pull that, though. I'm going to put that in decks. So basically, you fight target creature you control fights target creature to the opponent. The opponent to your left controls. Then that player may copy this spell and may choose new targets. You can keep going as long as there are creatures. How fun. Minthara. Crimson Muck Wader. Alright, cool. On our last pile. Forest. Lightning Bolt. Oh, look at that. That's so cool looking. So cool looking. Dire Mimic, didn't play with it. Manor Gate, mana fixing. Always take the gates. The mana fixing ones. Cliff Gate, Manor Gate, stuff like that. If you're building a multiple color deck, take them. Just draft them. If they're still left, take them. I didn't use the Death Tyrant or Bane's Invoker. I didn't use any of these. So if it costs 8 to activate an ability, it's for Dyna here. If you don't have Dyna here, skip these. Same thing, Timora's Invoker. Manifold Key, good card. Didn't really get to use it, but I did draft it. Swiftfoot Boots, obviously good card. Amber Gristle Omal. If it attacks, you may discard a card, your hand. If you do, draw a card for each player being attacked. The idea being that you empty your hand, and then you get to draw 3 cards. Gets consecutively worse per opponent you kill. But it's fun. Hasty 3/3 for 4. Pretty good. Nine Fingers Keen. There she is. Ward, pay 9 life. 9 life. Just to target her. 4/4 with Menace. Whenever she deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 9 cards of your library. You may put a gate card from among them onto the battlefield. Then if you control 9 or more gates, put the rest into your hand. Otherwise, put them on the bottom of your library. You will dig so much. This is such a good card. If you pull this, draft it. Draft it, draft it, draft it. Dungeon Delver. Candle Keep Sage. Bramble Sovereign. Ooh, that's fun. I didn't get to play with this. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 and 1 green. If you do, that creature's controller creates a token that's a copy of that creature. So you can do this anytime for anyone. This is so cool. Psychic Impetus. The Impeti, is that how you say it? Impetuses. Run them. Goading creatures, again, super important. Especially if someone has an unblockable that keeps taking the initiative from you. Looks like another list card. The list has not been nice to me today. I hope that changes, but we'll see. But again, we're not worried about that. Marble Diamond, Charcoal Diamond, Guardian Naga. So in most circumstances, I will tell you not to run this. It's not a good card. But the adventure, exile target artifact or enchantment. Because the backgrounds are so prevalent, you're going to want removal. Run this card. Your temple is under attack. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn, or you and target opponent each draw 2 cards. This could soften the blow when you take the initiative from someone, or be a combat trick. Genuinely amazing card. Dawnbringer Cleric, a lot of modes. Destroy target enchantment being one of them. Again, backgrounds, good card. Commander Liara Portier, hello again. Nemesis Phoenix. Null Warband. I didn't run this card. I would not run this card. Geode Golem. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast your commander from the command zone without paying its mana cost. Excellent card. Run it if you can. I didn't get the chance to. Mahadi. Did not play with Mahadi, but treasures are good. Tavern Brawler. Gorian, Wise Mentor. This is adventures. Whenever you cast an adventure spell, you may copy it. You may choose new copies targets for the copy. So good. So good. Owlbear Cub. Yay! I didn't get to play with it. Really wanted to. Not going to go into more. Reckless Barbarian. Good card. Whew! Okay. I just said I wasn't super worried about the list. What a great list pull. Hello, camera. Hey, camera, do your thing. Focus. Well, whatever. You know Tiamat. You love Tiamat. Just got a few more packs left. Again, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope this information is helpful and that you have a fun draft. Continue to stay with me. Only got a few more packs left. Rasad and Moen, Balls Invoker. Again, did not touch any of these cards. If I included them, it was just to hit 60 cards. You have to hit 60. Sylvanas is an Invoker, same thing. Roving Harper enters the battlefield, draw a card. Good for Blink decks. Rilsa. I did not run Rilsa, but Rilsa ran over me. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. It has Death Touch. It's a 2/5. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature you control gains Death Touch. If you've completed a dungeon, that creature also gets +5/+0 and gains First Strike and Menace until end of turn. So this is entirely around taking the initiative and keeping the initiative. It's okay to lose the initiative. Every time you get it, you get to move further into the Undercity. And every upkeep, if you already have the initiative, you continue to move further. But this is great just for so many reasons. It's just a very strong commander. Irenicus's Vile Duplication. I mean, that's pretty good. Create a token that's a copy, except it has flying and isn't legendary. Pretty good. Allura, Mystery Key, I didn't run that. This is a legendary. Karlach. Whenever you attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, this is legendary. It's a mythic. Untap all attacking creatures. They gain First Strike until end of turn. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. That is really good. Not mad at that. So this is my first. I'm going to put them over here. Hardy Outlander. Okay, let's talk about this card. Hardy Outlander. This is needlessly complicated in wording. Commander creatures you own have whenever this creature attacks a player. If no opponent has more life than that player, another target creature you control gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is this creature's power. So remember, commander creatures have this. Whenever this creature, so meaning your commander, attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, so it doesn't have to be the player with the most life, but no other player can have more. Another target creature you control, so not your commander, gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is your commander's power. I know it's funky. Take a few moments. Good. Have fun with it. Kaga, Shadow Archdruid. Didn't get to play with this one. You can cast spells from your graveyard. When you attack with it, it gains Death Touch until end of turn. You mill 2 cards. Seems fine. Zevlor. This was errated. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a single opponent or a single permanent an opponent controls this turn, for each other opponent, choose that player or a permanent they control, copy that spell, and the copy targets the... Yeah, it's confusing. I don't remember what was errated here, but you'll want to look that up because it will change how this card plays in draft. So if you end up pulling it, just be aware. Pilgrim's Eye, foil, and then one of those cards. I don't care about those. All right. Mountain. Abdel Adrian. Fire Diamond. Marut. I didn't play with this. But when it enters battlefield, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, create a treasure token for each mana from a treasure spent to cast it. Great. It can be free. And you sacrifice stuff. Can't see any situation wishes that's bad. Predatory Impetus. Good. Gray Slad. It's fine. It's a 4/1. You can cast the Adventure to mill 4 cards, and then as long as you have 4 cards or more, as long as there are 4 or more creature cards in your graveyard, it has menace and death touch. If you need it, fine. Not really that great. Javelin of Lightning, not that great. Gut, again, Street Urchin. Ganax, this is my first commander. So I had Hardy Outlander and Ganax. So it was a little tough to understand. But whenever it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a treasure token. Pretty good. I like this guy a lot. So you have my blessing, I guess. OG, Master Chef, Guild Artisan. Commander creatures you own have, whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, same thing as Hardy Outlander, you create 2 treasure tokens. Great. Morphic Pool. Woo! Another land. Pretty standard. Manor Gate foil. Cool. Got 2 more packs, so we're almost done. Again, thank you. You are amazing. Please let me know in the comments if any of this was useful. If you go to the draft, or if you did go to the draft and you agree with what I'm saying or disagree, please let me know. Lightning Bolt. Rilso Ryle. Circle of Land Druid. Circle of the Land Druid. I didn't play with this. Yeah. Earth Tremor. I died to this. Good card. I think it should see play in regular Commander. Vicious Battle Rager. I'm glad I got this because my god, this card was everywhere. So when it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. It's a 1/5 for 4. Whenever Vicious Battle Rager becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller loses 5 life. No one will block this. You will take the initiative every time you attack with this. If you see one on the battlefield, remove it. This card is huge. Draft it. Draft it, draft it, draft it. Arcane Signet. Draft it. I somehow got past one in my first game. I was like, are you crazy? My apologies. I won't say that. Viconia. Drow Apostate. Did not play with this card. Hammers of Moradin. This is fun. I wish I had played with this one. Another Myriad. When it attacks, for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature that player controls. So notably, it has to attack. When it attacks, you Myriad. You don't triple the effect. You only do it once, but you tap 1 target creature per opponent, so the Myriad creatures can get through. But just keep in mind, this is on attack, and you're not going to... The Myriad copies will not also have this happen. Githzerai Monk. I didn't play with this, but this looks good. When it enters the battlefield, tap all creatures you don't control. Flash and Flying for 1 white and 4 other. Good card. Kadira. Rabbits! When it deals combat damage to a player, for each token you control, create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token. Yeah, solid. Veteran Soldier. Whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's tapped and attacking. Lulu! Fraying Line. Did not play with this. Put a rope counter on target creature you control at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player may pay 2. If they do, they put a rope counter on a creature they control. Otherwise, exile Fraying Line and each creature without a rope counter on it, then remove all rope counters from all creatures. Oh, because they're on... Okay, yeah. Sure. It's a weird card. Zevlor. Treasure token. Last pack. All right, let's see how we do. I hope I get to tell you a little bit more before the end of my video. Forest. Mahadi. Sky Diamond. Arms of Hadar. Did not play with that. Ingenious Artillerist. This is sneaky. So whenever 1 or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control... Sorry, come on, focus. Ingenious Artillerist deals that much damage to each opponent. So every time you create a cluster of treasures, you deal that much damage to each opponent. Yeah. So this will trigger for every artifact you cast. Sure, you'll deal 1 damage to each opponent. But Brass's Bounty, if you were to go in a normal commander game, But also, there's just a lot of stuff that creates treasures, and you need the game to end. You only have 75 minutes to play, at least in normal drafts that I saw. You need the game to end. So this incremental damage will be huge. Draft this card if you can. Recruitment Drive, didn't play it. Bane's Contingency, I didn't play it. Candlekeep Inspiration. So this is for the adventure. I didn't play it. I'm not sure I would. If you're running a strong adventure theme, then you can really pump your creatures up. I don't know. Seems weird. Vol, Candlekeep Researcher. You can tap to add a number of generic to equal to its toughness to cast spells that are not in your hand. So graveyard spells, exile spells, other people's spells. So could be fun. Raphael. I did not play this, but this looks so much fun. Other demons, devils, imps, and tieflings you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature card was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any creature or any target. This looks just fun. Didn't get to play it, wish I had. Sword Coast Sailor. Criminal Past. This creature gets +X/+0, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. The commander creatures you own have that. And Menace, so that's pretty good. Basilisk Collar, good reprint, solid card. John Aranicus. Okay, so this is a fun card. A lot of people are really excited about this. The T is, don't draft it. Every person that I saw draft this, and maybe your experience is different than mine, every person that I played against who drafted this was not able to maintain momentum. They had a creature, they gave it away. Great. Did they do it again? No. Cool card. Build around it if you want to outside of draft. I don't necessarily recommend drafting this card. Take it if you want it, but don't build around it, in my opinion. Got a Mold Folk. Didn't use it. Cool. So here we are. These are my polls. This is Commander Legends, Battle for Baldur's Gate, draft, input, feedback, thoughts. Again, sorry for the long video. I'm not going to apologize, actually. You know what? I'm happy for the long video. I love having Magic to talk about. So if you lasted this long, and why wouldn't you? Because you love hearing about Magic, then I would love you to like, subscribe, share, share, do weird comments that aren't perverse or adult, tell your friends, have me feature on your Commander streams. I would love that. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. You all are amazing, and have an amazing day.